Oh my goodness. Wow. Luther. I'm just saying, like in our day, we would say that that was baby making music. In this day and age, they would just say that's that work. But anyway, I am in the groove today. I am just feeling really good. Like I said, it's raining out. I figured that I would just, dig in the crates and give y'all some quick slow jams, a little, nostalgia going on. Um, just to recap some things, this is the Deeva Show on Sador Radio, and today I had multiple topics. I have some exciting things that are going to be coming up. A lot of exciting things are going to be coming up. But one of the topics that I talked about today was distraction. A lot of us that are in the industry, and that's what I'm talking about. It could be the industry, it could be anything that you're involved in. You could be just an entrepreneur, selling jewelry, or a writer, author, what have you. Just distraction, just talking about distraction, alleviating distraction and staying focused on your goals for productivity. um, Talked about learning some kind of balance with you and your family, your mate, your friends, your support that you give others. Not that you don't want to support them, but everything has to be done in divine order and in a certain time frame to allow you to still accomplish your goals. You have to set aside time to focus on your goals, and you need supportive people around you. You need supportive people that are in your corner, not people that are working against you in what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. Because if you are pulling back from what you're doing in order to appease someone in your life, then they don't respect or understand your goals and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to do. I'm not saying that you selfishly do things, but just recognize when it's pulling at you too much, when you're not accomplishing what you need to accomplish. So that's what I was talking about as far as distraction today. I'm getting ready to go in and talk about our city of brotherly love, as Dorothy Harris on Facebook. She also has a show, Dots Inspirations, where she has hashtag the city of brotherly love. Make sure that you check out her show. Make sure you check out the Millspo show. Make sure Millspo show about positive reinforcement and inspiration, building up our women, and also check out In the Mix show late night. They be doing the raps and the jams and touching base with us with on the music vibe. Up and coming artists are guests on the show as well, and they spin a lot of music that everybody needs to check out. So in the Mix show, we have quite a few shows that are going on that I want y'all to check out, and we also have a show that comes on every Monday where they are bringing to you different and new books. We have so many authors in the city of Philadelphia, and it's so crazy how they say that Black people don't read, but we write books. So I'm just saying, make sure that you check out Sador Radio. Make sure that you check out all of our lineup. We have some fabulous shows that are going on. We got Tea Time. We got Brown Girls. We got people that are like coming to you from all over the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So I'm up and down the East Coast. So make sure you check out Sador Radio. Make sure that you subscribe to Sador Radio LLC on YouTube so that you can check out all of our live shows because they're all on there. I'm trying to get the announcements out the way before I go into finishing talking about my topic about the city of Philadelphia. What's going on next with DEU? What's going on next with DEU? Well, not next, right now. How about how many of you have been able to check out Faces of Life that has been on channel 66 Comcast and channel 2930 on Verizon on Saturday evenings at 8 p.m. Because Faces of Life, that writer and director and producer myself, it's on there for view. That's Faces of Life. And let's see, on Sunday from 9 a.m. until 12 noon, we have Witness and also Lord I Prayed. Now, all three shows are marathons for the months of October and November. And I'll be coming back to you with updates for more that you will see on the shows. I'm sorry, on those stations of DEU's work. The other thing is we have the film witness. We're getting ready to get on this journey. Oh my gosh, and maybe I'll stop pulling my hair out, but we're getting ready to get started on this journey, and I'm excited, and I can't wait. Look at this here, and I can't wait to get started with the cameras and all, meeting with the cast and the crew. Shout out to all of you for being a part of the production. I just want to let y'all know that this journey is going to be phenomenal. I have a phenomenal cast and crew that I'm going to be working with. Some old, some new. I always like to season the cast, bring on new people, new experiences, so forth and so on. So join us with our Facebook page, Stage to Screen Witness Screenplay, so that you can check out our journey, because we're getting ready to start posting information about our journey as we go along. What else is going on? I think I mentioned quite a few different things. I told you I'm going to have a representative from the Philadelphia Film Society, also the Greater Film Philadelphia Film Office, as well as PhillyCam, so that they can talk with you. You can ask questions. I am going to have some specific questions for them that I want them to share with you. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, you got time. So write your questions down, so when they're here, you'll be able to ask those questions. I think that's my announcements, other than the fact that make sure that you tune into my show every Thursday at 12 noon to make sure that you check out and see what's going on with not only DEU, but what's going on in the city of Philadelphia, in the industry as well. Now, I got to get into my topic. As I mentioned before, there are so many children that are losing their lives innocently to gun violence going on in the city of Philadelphia. It's sad. A lot of us are grieving right now, and it comes to a point that even though you don't even know the child, it's just disheartening to know that an innocent life has been taken for no reason whatsoever. They were put in harm's way unknowingly, but I'm going to say a prayer for, all of the families that are affected, family and friends that are affected. But one of the things that I sincerely want to talk to us about, and it makes some people uncomfortable, and on this show, I keep it 100. I'm not going to fake it with you. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, we just had an election where most people did not show up to the polls. Let's be real with it. Some people didn't find it important. Some people didn't come out because it was an inconvenience to them. I'm just going to say to you all that voting for local government, I'm not going to say is more important than our president, but what I'm going to say to you is voting for our local government, our council, council at large, congressmen, all of that is major, and it's important because I'm going to backtrack it and take it all the way back. The young lady that's in critical condition that was in the accident on Chestnut Street, while the young man did swerve around this pothole to avoid the pothole, can we also look at a big picture and ask, because I've also driven down Chestnut Street, and that has happened where a person, would swerve and try to go around it, and almost run into you. I don't understand why people don't stop when they see something in front of them and just try to dart around thinking they can make it. But at any rate, I'm not even going to get into that. But what I want to say is, why is it that this pothole that is between 60th and 59th, and I'm putting it out there, why has that pothole been there for almost a year? I'm just saying. Why is it that that pothole has been there almost a year? I'm gonna go into that just a little bit further. So we see these instances, and that's not the only pothole. It's several potholes all the way leading on Chestnut Street. I mean, right before where the Scribe Center used to be near 42nd and Chestnut, there's another huge pothole that people are flying down the street, and then there's not even any cones there because people have hit the cones or the barriers or whatever they have out there. People are trying to get around it and running into each other because it's rectangle and it's in the middle of the street. And I'm just saying this, and it's deep. I experienced it this morning. That's why I'm just, it just take me back when I drove down the street, and I'm like, wow, this is, where this took place with this young lady. Why is it that these potholes and things are staying undone that are causing accidents, damage to vehicles, you name it? And that's because of our local council person that we have in office in our areas. Where is the money that is supposed to be there for our communities to repair things, to fix things, to develop different activities and functions for our youth in the area, the development of the schools in our area, is also with after school programs and things of that nature. A lot of things go through our local government. We can't write to the president and ask the president about a pothole in the city of Philadelphia around the corner from us. So I'm just going to say where I reside, the first time you complain about something to someone, on my block, they say, well, go around the corner to so-and-so, your council person, and talk to them. And something usually gets done. But that all comes with who you elect and put in place. If you don't vote these local governments for these local offices that are around you in your community, nothing gets done in your community. You don't even know who's there. I'm just going to say, the average person can't tell you who their local council person is. And the only time where they'll find out is if they're in dire straits and something is happening specifically to them and they need help. And then they'll seek help and they'll reach out to get help. Other than that, they don't know who their local council person is. So I'm just saying, understanding, the young man was, swerving to avoid the pothole. But why has that pothole been here for almost a year? We need to find that out. It's sitting in the middle of West Philly. Why has it been there for almost a year? They've taken down some of the barriers, put them back up. They've widened. It was smaller than that. They've widened it. It was another pothole that was on the left-hand side. I think that was further down near 52nd Street. I'm just saying, and near 42nd in Chestnut. It's just potholes. It's considered, Chestnut Street is considered a major highway. I don't know if you all understood that. But if you look at your GPS and you're going down Chestnut Street, or you're going down Walnut Street, both of them are considered major highways, whether you understand it or not. But that should be. But if we get out and vote for our local congressman, congresswoman, congressperson, then we can communicate some of the things that is going on in our local areas. Now, I'm talking about potholes because I was thinking about the young lady that was in that horrible accident, and shout out to her that she has a speedy recovery and God heals her as He sees fit, and still continue to pray for her. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to put it out there. Don't care who likes it or not. We're going to talk about how quiet we are in our community. I'm just going to put a name out there. We know Lil Ray right down the street is selling. It's okay if Little Ray is selling down the street and you going to work. He out there. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Where's Lil Ray going at 6 o'clock in the morning, sitting on a corner? But I'm just saying, It's okay for little Ray Ray to be on that corner. But if Ray Ray get into a problem with somebody and they decide that they want to come down that block to off little Ray Ray, and they decide they want to shoot, all of you are in jeopardy. Just as we're seeing it, they have no morals now. So when you decide to turn a blind eye to what's going on right in front of you, be like, oh, that's just them doing their thing. It's just them doing their thing until they decide to have a shootout and somebody innocently gets killed. We have to start being diligent and taking our neighborhoods back. And when I say taking our neighborhoods back, a lot of times we be quiet because we don't want retaliation and so forth and so on. But it's not about so much about just going and saying, oh, I saw so and so in such and such doing this. It might even be that there is an abandoned store on that corner. Now, I'm just going to tell you how you can sometimes do things indirectly to help in your community. I know a lot of people are afraid. It's not about going into your congressperson's office and saying, this is so and so, and I see them doing this and I see them doing that. I'm just going to give you a for instance. For instance, if there is an abandoned store on that corner, and that corner is where all the activity is, opposed to just pointing out, and I'm just going to say, I know some people want to say, well, that's just moving it. But a couple of different ways that you can handle it is get with your local congressperson, let them know that it's an abandoned store on that corner, and what can y'all do to make that an active corner that will help the community? What can you put on that corner to help the community? Not necessarily a poppy store, because there's a poppy store everywhere, but what can you put on that corner in that building to help with development in the community? And that's a way of combating some things as well. Now, some of you are saying, well, that's just going to move the problem. But when you start to bring attention to that area and you say, listen, it's a lot going on. What can we do to change it? We want something in the community on that corner that's going to be helpful to our community, and change the environment on that corner. It's going to be, it's going to be witnessed that there's things that's going on that corner. They may develop that property and redo something with that property that'll be beneficial to your community and the things that you are asking for in the community. More adequate childcare. Maybe it could be a daycare. Maybe it could be something else, an activity center, a learning center, if you will, because we need more learning centers in our communities for our children, especially all children. We need more learning centers. We used to have Sylvan Learning Center, and it was just so expensive. But we have to start looking at bringing in. I know we want the drugs out, but we have to start bringing in certain things in our communities that's going to uplift our community. And it's not about snitching, because a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to get involved. Well, your involvement should be, what can you bring and help contribute to the community to help the community flourish, so that there's less activity. Because the thing is that when you start to bring those things into the community that's going to help develop the community in a positive way, then you're reaching the next generation to keep them from going right into the same direction as those that went before them. And as you do that, you are slowly but surely changing the environment of your neighborhood. It is so many different ways of doing things. It's not about going and ratting and snitching people out, because I understand people are afraid. And I mean, I'm just saying the gun violence is crazy out here and people don't have morals. So I understand it. But there's different ways of combating what's going on out here other than just snitching on people. It's ways of going about promoting change within your communities, being very vocal, actually doing, like I always say, research to to figure out what we can put in our communities to change the mindset of a lot of our teens that are out here, a lot of our younger youth that are preteens that are watching the older generation. We don't want them to learn that behavior because it is a learned behavior. What we want to do is put something in front of them, put something in the neighborhood that they can gravitate towards that's more positive. And when you start doing that, you start to change the climate of your community. For instance, I'm just going to say this. I don't know if you all recognized, but the, I guess they call it now, what is it called? Northern Liberties, Brewery Town, and I know people have corrected me on it. Fishtown, Fishtown and Northern Liberties are different. Let me say that before somebody calls in and fusses me out. But Fishtown and Northern Liberties are different, and Brewery Town. And I'm just going to say this. In the past 2 years, I don't know if you all have recognized, but for the longest time, Frankfurt and I'm sorry, Front and Girard was dim. It was, it's not, I'm just going to say it wasn't all, it's not all that bright now. But what I'm saying is in that community, in that area, all near the Fillmore, Sugar House, all the way up to a certain point, there has been redevelopment, and I know some people are saying gentrification. However, it has changed the climate in the area to the point where I indulged in the area because it was very inviting and very comfortable to be in and just having a good time. Some of the old homes that were falling down, I know on Day Street, it was like a whole big lot. And I drove through there the other day, and that's near Girard, also near Front and Girard. I drove through there the other day. They got 6 brand new homes there. We have to start communicating, talking to our local Congress people that are in charge in our local areas. We're paying our taxes. We need to go in. We need to have these conversations with them about what we can do to put in our communities to drive out the foolishness. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying move out people of their homes. Like gentrification does kind of like push people out of their homes. So I'm not necessarily saying that. There's some pluses and minuses to gentrification. What I'm saying is changing the community environment of what you have around here as far as activities, as far as refurbishing, some of these homes that are considered hangouts for activity. And the only way that we can do that is if we take ourselves to our local congressperson and have an educated conversation about change and being a part of that change. Don't waltz in and have a whole conversation and say what you want to have done and what you think should be done, but you're unavailable to be a part of the process. Be a part of the process. Is very important, because when you go to these Congress people, basically that's like, oh, here they come complaining again. They want this done, they want that done, but you can't get them to show up for this. You can't get them to show up for that. So make sure that you have available time to be a part of the process, because it is your community as well. You want to go in, you want to sit down, like I said, have an educated conversation and let them know what you would like to see in the community, and how can you work together with them to get that to happen. The only way that things are going to change is if we actually get out there and get involved. And that does not mean to go to different hotspots and confront people. It's dangerous. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we need to get with the people that are the powers that be and have a conversation about how they can develop and change some things within the community to drive out some of the crime and some of the drug activity, We are losing our children, our innocent children, at an alarming rate. It's sad. I can't even imagine um, what the families are going through. But we need to try our best to save our city and save our communities. We talk about it, but how many of us are going to be about it? You know, and that's just the bottom line, and that's the way that I see it. There's, like I said, there's a lot of different activities and things can be provided for our children to deter them. You know, when I was growing up, there was a lot of activities. Like, you know, we did a lot hands-on fundamentals to teach us different things. I mean, I learned the skill. I learned how to make lamps. You know, it was kind of weird, but I know how to do some wiring now. You know what I mean? And it's a skill set that I learned as a very young child. Where are those kind of different activities? And it can be fun. We can make it fun for the kids. It's just their learning process is just not the classroom. Their learning process should be constantly all the time, 24/7. Teaching them will help them to develop uh, skills of survival. There's so many entrepreneurs now out here, and a lot of them are in my generation. Why? Because they were taught how to do something else outside of just going to school and just learning ABCs. We rely so much on our schools to teach our children that, well, school and television and video games to teach our children, instead of us actually sitting down and teaching them a skill and teaching them something. We just, did you do your homework, and that's it, as long as they get in straight A's in school. But where are the life fundamentals? Are you teaching them how to maintain a bank account? Are you teaching them how to fix things around the house so they don't always have to call a handyman? I'll never forget it. My dad, jack of all trades, God rest his soul, retired firefighter. He passed away some time ago, but 10 years to be exact. But not only was he a firefighter, but he was a house painter, exterminator, and what else did he do? It was something else that he did. But to make a long story short, I painted my house from top to bottom, inside out. So I'm just saying, I learned that skill from him. There's a lot of different skills that I learned from my dad. And plumbing. So I had moved into my house, and 3 children. I got this big house, and of course, one of the kids put something. It was a fork down in the toilet. So you can imagine everything went past this fork. So now it's like my toilet is like done. So make a long story short, I had to figure out what to do. I called my dad. I'm like, oh my God, like the toilet's backed up and this, that, and the other. And he's like, babe, I know you ain't called me about no clogged toilet. You already knew what to do. And I'm just giving y'all an example. So what did I do? I went to the store. I got one of them long things that you turn and it goes all the way in and pulls out what you need to pull out. And I'm saying all of this to say is that he taught me a skill. How many of you are taking the time to teach your kids skills? Not just bake a cake, not just cooking. Cooking is a great skill. Don't get me wrong, but not just that. How many of you are taking the time to teach your kids skills that they can utilize later on? You know what I'm saying? In life, outside of just having a regular job. You know what I mean? So many entrepreneurs that are out here now know that it takes more than one job actually to survive out here. So I'm saying all of that to say is that we have to get more diligent with our youth. We have to actually dig into our communities in the city of Philadelphia. Like Dot from Dot's Inspiration says, hashtag the city of brotherly love. We need to get more involved in our communities. We need to get involved in our communities for promoting some type of change in a positive way so that we could try to combat some of this violence that is taking place. Our children are being snatched. Some of you are just so, how could I say, free and easy to let our kids of any age just go and do because we're involved in our own world. When, my kids used to get upset with me, like, Mom, I can walk by myself. Okay, all right, well, I'm going to take you today. And that was like every day. And so it took me a while to let go a little bit. You got 5 and 6 year olds walking to school by themselves. Why do we have that? Come on, I understand you got to work. We got to get better, because so many of our kids are being snatched and are being taken. This, human trafficking is just absolutely at its all-time high, and a lot of it is in Philadelphia. So I'm sorry, I could go on and on, but I wanted to bring that information to you all. The eyes are crying for the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. We need to get more into our communities and be more vigilant about promoting positivity and change. So that I'm wrapping up today. I hope you all enjoyed my slow grooving, my little music spiel I had going on today. Hope you enjoyed the Deeva Show today, and hopefully you will remain committed and consistent with tuning into the Deeva Show every Thursday from 12 noon until 2 p.m. Couple of shout outs. Shout out to CMC Comedy. Make sure that you check out Craig McLaurin Comedy. Club Risque is every second Sunday. This Sunday show at Club Risque, Delaware Avenue. The doors open at 7. The show starts at 8 o'clock. Now, the thing is that this is the last show before next year because, of course, we all take breaks, during the holiday. So I just want to let y'all know if y'all want to check it out, make sure you check. You can even look on Eventbrite for CMC Comedy. It's Craig McLaurin Comedy. It's this Sunday. The doors open at 7. The show starts at 8. I will be in the house. This is the last show before the end of the year. So make sure that you check it out and get your tickets early. I'm going to tell you, you know why you need to get your tickets early? Because this is the last show before the end of the season and people turn out. And you don't want to get at the door and they be like, we're at capacity. So make sure that you check it out, okay? And if you're going to the TV Producers Retreat this weekend, I will be there. I will see you all. It's going to be going to feel good to be in the house, and it's going to be a good time. I haven't been in a minute, so I'm looking forward to it. So I also want to say shout out to representative from Philly Cam, Debbie. I appreciate everything that you do for DEU, and I am looking forward to having a representative from Philly Cam, from the Philadelphia Film Society, as well as the Greater Philadelphia Film Office, so they can come and give you all information. I'm also going to be having a guest that will give you information on script writing, and that's all types of script writing. So this is Deeva Gordon with DEU. Listen, I'm going to say to you, can you just Google the Deeva Show and make sure that you tune in? You can subscribe to DEU Productions LLC, as well as Sador Radio, and stay tuned and check out the Deeva Show. You know what I mean? If you know somebody that missed it, somebody that needs to hear it, just share the information, share the YouTube page, and tell them to subscribe. That way you'll stay tuned, and especially for Sador Radio, so that they can stay on top of all of the different awesome shows that got going on. Yeah, that's about it. I came to you all today with two topics, two very important topics. Say a prayer for the city of Philadelphia. Give God all praise. This is Deeva Gordon from DEU. I'm getting ready to tune out, and I will be back next Thursday, okay? I'll be back next Thursday at 12 o'clock. As again, like I said, I appreciate all of you for your commitment and your consistency with the Deeva Show. Love, peace, here, geese, and I will see you all on the other side, all right? And I got yet another, well, a couple more slow jams for you, all right? Here you go. This is one of my favorite